It's an important program, especially as we approach summertime here, where it's going to be it's hot summer. So the summer heat throughout the country. Kids are getting out of school. They're getting into camp programs and sports programs and just outdoor activity. And they're going to be outdoor every day, nonstop. And exposed to those type of heat elements. A surprising statistic to me was that the third leading cause of sudden death in high school athletes is EHS, or exertional heat stroke. So this is something that we all need to be very aware of and be educated about. And so we created the Heat Factor campaign and created the website, theheatfactor.com, and put together a bunch of educational videos and articles on that site that can really educate people as to the signs and symptoms of EHS. It's being in that hot environment and you see somebody who's acting confused, maybe disoriented, the mood swings that involve being agitated or just not quite knowing where you are or kind of lacking that awareness, and so these are all signs of an EHS emergency where you would immediately want to call 911. Get that person immediate medical attention so that we can avoid an EHS emergency that could result in serious injury or even death. There was another statistic that 70% of parents would not be able to recognize signs or symptoms of EHS. So, that along with coaches and teachers and all those people that are going to be responsible for our kids, this summer, we want them all to be very aware of what EHS is, how to recognize it in the event of an emergency, and then how to make sure that, our children are safe. I think common sense would be, hey, you stay very well hydrated. You've got the cooling towels or just mechanisms to keep your body cool in hot environments. Proper rest in between activity. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about kids and you're talking about athletes, athletes are in that competitive environment where you're going to push yourself, and maybe you just push yourself beyond that realm of, okay, well now I'm into this EHS range, this exertional heat stroke range. For kids, it's, when's the last time my kid ever came up to me and said, oh, I feel dehydrated? No, I mean, kids are like nonstop climbing the monkey bars, playing outside, doing whatever. They're not thinking about staying hydrated or cooling off or doing anything like that. Like, you've got to, drag them in, so to speak. So, those are two examples of, where you've got kids or athletes that are kind of in this different realm just in regards to the environment that they're in. With adults, listen, it's just as much of a risk for people that love to garden or love to do yard work, and you're out in that heat, for hours on end, and that's something you need to be aware of, or a construction worker or any manual labor, or a roofer or something like that, where you're dealing with those types of conditions. Well, I mean, like you said, I grew up in Austin, Texas, played high school football there, where two-a-days was, there was this whole toughness element, where it's like, hey, you only get one water break for a 3-hour practice, and it's right in the middle, and it's basically just a yard hose that you kind of get sprayed at you, So, times have changed, I mean, I think people are much more aware of, just like they are with concussions, that, hey, this is a serious thing, and, we need to make sure that we're handling it the right way. It's the same thing with EHS. This is serious, let's make sure we handle it the right way, so we just create a safe environment for our kids. We're not going to sit here and pretend that, oh, it's never going to happen, that we're never going to encounter an EHS emergency. Listen, it happens, but what we want people to do is just be aware of the signs and symptoms. Because if you can recognize the signs and symptoms, then you can avoid the emergency. Well, I mean, everything I do is very quarterback specific, I'd say. As I've gotten older, it's really, I'd say this, I kind of break up the off season into segments, So right at the end of the season, like I get away from the game for a while. I don't step foot in the weight room. I do a lot of cross training type stuff. I love to hike, I love to bike, I love to paddleboard. I'm very active. I'm kind of maintaining that level of kind of being in shape, but I'm doing, just kind of more fun things and more things that just are therapeutic for me and just kind of help me relax and unwind and clear my head. When I get into training mode with football, then it's all about, okay, I'm training now to be a quarterback, and so what are specific things, specific drills that I'm doing that are going to help me in the pocket as a quarterback. So it's not just I'm just going out and training to train, or I'm exercising to exercise, or I'm just going to run 5 miles and thinking that that's going to make me a better quarterback. No, I mean, there's very specific things I'm doing. High expectations. There's always high expectations. We expect a lot out of ourselves. I really like our team. I love the way that we've built it. We've built it on the traits of character, toughness, and intelligence, and I feel like that we have that. And we try to draft those guys. We try to go get those guys in free agents, and we try to retain those guys, when we do have them. And so I think we've got a good mix of veteran leadership on our team, blended with some young talent. We start practices next week, so this is when we begin to put it all together. Well, again, the Heat Factor program is designed to keep our kids safe, to keep athletes safe during these hot summer months. To raise the level of awareness and education as to the signs and symptoms of exertional heat stroke, or EHS, to make sure that we are in a position where we can recognize it, get help immediately, medical help immediately, and prevent any type of serious injury or death for our young people.